How do you guys like that music?
It's different. It's different. It's different. I don't know if I was going to, Chuck E. Cheese or an elevator. I'm trying to figure out which way I was going there.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
All right. We'll put it back. We'll set the tone.
This is a good one for if you're about to do script practice too. If you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hi.
Good morning, everybody. Nobody yet, but good morning.
Good morning. Don't worry about it. Everybody's there. They're just in spirit right now. Everybody's in spirit.
Agents always show up late.
Right.
All right.
And that's early for them, right?
I think you guys gonna have to ask the Alliance Movement Facebook page to add you.
Yeah. Absolutely. We can chime in there.
Yeah.
But we'll do that in a few minutes. Actually, I'll do that right now. But in the meantime, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a fabulous day. I mean, please, let's enjoy it. We're at the 9th day or 10th day. Right now, it's
9.
We're climbing up to Christmas. We're climbing up to New Year's, and the year is winding down little by little.
Yeah.
So, it does happen. So tell me, man, how's your weeks? Ed, how was your week?
Brother, busy as a mother flower. Between showings, we just got another listing that hit the market. We were taking photos of another listing that's coming soon. I'm happy that we're putting these in. All we need to do is find the buyer now.
Nice.
They're coming back. They're definitely coming back.
Having listings is cool and all, but we need to get them sold. All right.
We're
doing a hell of a lot of open houses this weekend, man. It's gonna be crazy. But you know what? We're excited, man. January's coming. The interest rates are dropping. More buyers are hitting the market. So we're excited about that. How about you guys?
Well, I mean, for me, it's actually been the same, but I've actually taken a different route for me. I've been looking at working with a lot of buyers recently. So,
nice.
The good thing about it is that we all fall into this trap of not wanting to do follow-ups for a while. And then I actually took a couple of hours and just followed up with so many people, wishing them thanks, good thanks for being great support, throughout the course of the year. I already got a couple of referrals coming up for the next couple of weeks, which is amazing. I have an appointment coming up this Saturday for a listing as well in an area that, listen, ladies and gentlemen, there is no co-ops in this area, and it's called Richmond Hill. It's all houses out there.
Yeah.
So it's a diamond in the rough kind of situation. So pretty much I'm looking forward to going out there, making sure we lock that in real quick. And then, look, 2023, I'm trying my best to actually make sure that the goals that I set this year for next year are completely set. So 3 to 4, I want to make sure that it's done before June at least.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
That's for me. I guess you guys can talk about it because I had a very eventful week.
Yeah. Listen, we did we did an awesome training, and then although it breaks our hearts, but it's okay. It's all love. Gigi made a shift, and now Gigi's with Remax.
Yes.
All right. But what I wanted to touch on real quick was the fact that I had a conversation with somebody the other day, actually yesterday at an event, and they were sad. They were like, "Oh my God, like we're not gonna see you guys anymore." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, well, Gigi's not with DXP anymore. I'm like,
I'm not dead.
Gigi, it doesn't matter what brokerage she's in, because we didn't create this specifically for a brokerage.
Exactly.
We created this so that we can share information with each other, and it's agents helping agents. That was the whole concept.
Look who just popped in. You guys should say hello to
Esther.
Yeah.
Hello, Esther,
for participating. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
sure. So this is the point. I mean, if you guys out there do not know why we have Real Estate Unwrapped, it's not a branded thing. We came in as real estate professionals and wanted to elevate, the industry. There is a lot of misconceptions and things about what we do, and a lot of the times some of us behaving badly make the whole group look really, really bad. So it's
Mhm.
been informational for the public out there. We're hoping to give tidbits of good practices and a little bit of skill building and mindset and so on and so forth for real estate agents, and just trying to move the needle forward. That's all we're doing, right? It's
Yeah.
nothing,
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be a particular brand. It's just agents
No.
wanting to make the industry better. It is,
But it
Absolutely.
was it
yeah,
was never
yeah,
it was never about the particular brand, because
no,
again, we've never promoted our brokerage. We were only promoting the fact that we're agents in different fields with different personalities that just were sharing tips and tricks. And we
hmm,
also open it up to you folks because we want to make sure that we're hitting it right. We want to make sure that we're touching on subjects that we're all going through. And that's the key to
right,
Hmm.
this. And as a
yeah,
matter of fact, even though Gigi, you shifted, this is what I told her. I said, it doesn't matter where we're at. At the end of the day, in my opinion, if we continue to do this, which we will, it's going to make it even stronger. Our audience is going to grow because they're going to realize that it's not about that. It's never been
right.
about that. It's always been about us coming together, sharing these ideas, and trying to see how we can elevate ourselves and the people around us and the people that are watching.
Of course. And that's absolutely true. That's why we're doing it. You know, sometimes it's like you're doing, you know, yeah, I know. It's we're not even doing it for monetary reason. It's just like,
Right.
okay,
Right.
let's give out a little bit of what we know and help out whomever we can help out there. I've had a lot
Absolutely.
of actual sellers, you know, jumping in or watching the live later and always telling me, I didn't know about this, I didn't know you had to do this, I didn't know about the
Yeah.
whole prospecting aspect, and that they were like rules and you guys were scripted and not just winging it. I'm like, obviously not.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so it was really, and they're like, oh my god, you have to go through this and you have that much compliance. I'm like, yeah, we do actually. We're
I
much
mean, it's
regulated. Yeah,
our education doesn't stop at the licensing portion, so it's always
absolutely
continuing,
not.
right? So
Yeah,
we're always
yeah,
learning, and then we're always, and because, like you said, at this given point, it's our platform is based on giving the tips and tricks and the education that we need to, that we want to share to others in order for everyone to be more improved.
I want to
So,
give out a shout out to our only one, Olga Savelov, who's
Olga
this.
Savilov.
Olga is this superstar mortgage broker, I mean loan officer, who's she's not a mortgage broker, she works with a bank actually, and she is a wealth of knowledge, and she's actually, to me, she's very instrumental on the information we can deliver, because she's been teaching us over the years a lot of the things that go behind closed doors and, you know, the back office on the financing part, and she is really like a mentor. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. And I'm not going anywhere, Olga. I'm around. All right. So let's talk about like the new phases, because it's just let's not even talking about, not necessarily changing brokerage. We're not going to talk about the reasons. It's not the subject. We're going to talk about shifting your business to either a new brokerage or a joining a group or starting your own group, and a couple of points that we think are really important to just give out to all of us. It's not about the why, it's about now what do you need to do. Like, you have this new phase, it's a new phase, we're moving into something else. How do we stay on track? We're going to talk again mindset, like super important. So I guess we can take it away a little
Yeah.
bit, right? I know
No,
you
let's jump
had
into
this.
it.
Who started talking about starting at zero concept, which is like something that Mike Ferry talks a lot on, basically prospecting every day. But I think Ed, you brushed on that when we prepped for this session.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we got to kind of build on, and again, if you guys attended our 2023 takeover, first thing that we have to set up is our mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're right. As we sat down and we're watching the video, I was actually taking some notes of some of his pointers. Um, but he talked about starting every day at zero.
Right.
Yep.
Forget the fact that we're at the end of the year. I know we're coming to a close. Everybody's starting to take their time off, go on vacation. I see people posting videos, traveling, and it's phenomenal. You know what I mean? It's great. Enjoy. If you made it happen, you deserve it, right? But he talks about starting every day at zero,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the key is for us going into January, that's the way we have to look at things. Forget about the fact that we already have listings that are pending, deals that have been accepted offers, pending off, pending contracts. You know, it's there. It's already been done. But what we need to do is focus on continuing that process. All right. He talks about making sure that, for example, one of the key things we have to do is prospecting every day. I know
Yeah.
nobody likes to
Nobody
do it.
wants to hear it, but this is the truth.
Yeah.
Those real estate conversation, you can put it, slice it out however you want,
Hmm.
but you need to speak to people about real estate buying or selling every single day. Otherwise, you're out of a job.
For
It's
sure.
very simple. Yeah.
For sure. I
One
Yeah.
agree.
100%. And he talks about keeping that hunger, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what it comes down to, keeping the hunger inside. It is what it is. And some of us may be going through specific things that are causing us to be hungry. Some of us are getting complacent, right?
Hmm.
Like we start to get complacent because guess what? We just closed 3, 4, 5 deals. We got checks, each of them $10,000 a pop. I want to go on vacation now. That's the idea. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I'm gonna add something. So Ed, you had the mindset training at that you've been excelling at doing it on the fourth quarter. Like basically tracking your business for the fourth quarter and the taking the takeover 2023 business plan. The mindset part. Esther had a training yesterday at our office, and she also brushed on mindset, and she brought in the concept of half full, half empty glass. You were talking
Yes.
about fixed mindset and growth mindset. So everything was pretty much intertwined, like what you were talking about and what she talked about. It was more on the Jim Rohn side, if you guys
Mm,
know who Jim Rohn
I know Jim
is.
Rohn. Yep.
Yes, yes, yes. So it was same thing, more on the mindset and looking at things in the positive way. Like for me, I could definitely look at a glass half empty of where I'm literally starting at zero again, on where
yeah.
I'm at. But it's a new road. It's like like a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities, and I guess we should all look at even closing the year, starting a new year, starting anew. You
Yeah.
just join the team. It's like, oh my God, there are so many things that you can do. And joining a team doesn't mean that you just have to wait to get fed by your team leader, which is probably the worst approach.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are on a team, on a large team, but you're very self-sufficient. You're doing your things. You're doing get your listings. You're getting your own buyers. Having other leads coming from the team leaders is just a cherry on top.
Yeah.
And
So the
yeah,
good thing about actually, even what doesn't matter if you're able to actually still take whatever system you've created in your own location, your old team,
hmm,
wherever, if you're going to another state or if you're going to a new home, if you have a system in place that it always works for you, then that system should be transferable to the next one, to the new one,
yeah,
right? And then now you only need to learn exactly what additional systems they actually need to have
right,
in that case, right? So what additional stuff that they need to implement and what you can add on to that, right? What can you add on to their system? Maybe it could be prehistoric system that they have, and you can add on to it, or if it's real new technology that you can learn from. Things
hmm,
like that, I think, is one of the important parts, especially when you're doing a new phase of learning of what's going on and starting at zero. And I agree with you guys. And I just want to piggyback on one thing on this is that everything that you do in that one day happens only in that one day,
yeah,
right? Because starting at zero means exactly that, right? You
Hmm.
actually don't need to repeat what you've done before in the sense that now you actually have to create yourself a new sort of, if you think about a new Groundhog's Day, right? Everything starts from new. So now everything new, you had to do a new prospecting, you had to do a new list, you had to do a new, new data, so on and so forth in order to build the business that you want to build. So I think
hmm,
starting at zero is a very smart way of
right.
going.
And that's, to me, it's like a great way to whatever you're doing. If you're going into a completely different market, and even if you're going into a different market, you're changing state, I think it's still important to stay in touch with your past leads, old clients. You never know You never know. They may be great source of referrals. They're fantastic cheerleaders for you. If you're going into a new office, okay, let's talk about something. Oh, okay, so I switched brokerage, and I'm still here, and I'm still here to give you the same services I've been doing for years, or and the same thing. Those are like great conversations that bring you new subjects, new things to talk about, and revive old, especially like old links we have. And let's face it, over the last 2.5 years, we've been so spoiled that deals were just falling on our laps that we forgot about our sphere of influence. And nobody wants to work that sphere of influence. But it's like you said, Israel, you went on the phone and you called back, you just decided to like, let me call back old leads, thank them
Yeah,
for all the business
absolutely.
they referred. And they're giving you even more business. It's like cornucopia. It's very fruitful. It's there. The universe is just there to, you have to pour into it to receive. And that's it. It's very
And you
simple.
said it best too. You want these folks to be your cheerleaders, so they want
Yes.
to really cheer you on. You want to make sure that actually, that they can support you and about your business. Because
Yeah.
honestly, think of it, referral business is actually much better business than cold call business. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's actually it becomes to that point where you actually now can say, hey, I can walk into a room. I've been referred by this person. It's less work. It's less hassle. It's less,
Yeah. Yeah.
less having to do with it. Now
Yeah.
you're actually at that point of you're walking in and like, oh, I know Israel. Sure, let me just sign right here.
Yeah.
Call it a
Yeah.
day. It's just a meeting greet. Call it a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
I
100%.
know.
Another point that he actually hit was it's raising your level of enthusiasm.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And outside of raising your level of enthusiasm, I'd like to add to that is you always got to remember and be mindful and be grateful of what you have. All right. So without that, in my opinion, it's going to be hard to be enthusiastic because at the end of the day, life is going to happen, period. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the matter, life is going to happen. I mentioned it at the event, same concept, right? I had 5 pending deals, and with everything that was taking place, one by one, they were falling off. They were
Right.
falling off. How can I possibly still be enthusiastic to keep moving forward?
But
It's
you
not
are, and look
easy.
at right now. Look at right now. It's like you may have had 5 deals that fell through a month and a half ago, but you're back at, you have those 5 deals. You
Yeah,
have the
no,
listings. You
yeah,
have the yeah.
the listings are there, and luckily, thank God, like those deals, for example, and for me, it's just I'm representing the seller. Only one of them I was representing a buyer, so
Yeah.
unfortunately, he no longer qualified. But the other properties had to go back on the market, so
Yeah.
now it's double time, right? It's double time for me because it's great being on the listing end, but when you gotta sell it, now it's like, oh damn, this is this is a different level of stress. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I gotta make it happen.
Yeah,
Right.
your
So
your
he,
sellers, have a timeline and they really want to sell.
yeah,
And when they're really ready to sell, I know it's very stressful for them.
So it's
but
almost
it,
like the same concept of, when you have a flat tire,
Right.
either you do two things. Either you go flatten out the rest of the tires, be upset that it's one flat tire, or go change it. Which one of the two is going to be better for you?
yeah,
Just go change
And
it. That's it.
absolutely.
and
And if you
and I
have
Yeah.
that
feel,
mindset, then you just go change it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel
Yeah.
that for us to stay enthusiastic, we have to engulf ourselves in our work efforts. All right. We can't focus on the bad because naturally our mind is going to go ahead and attract what you think of most. All
Right.
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 So if you want to be enthusiastic, you can't be thinking about those 5 deals that went to the garbage can. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think of how can I make it happen? What can I
Right.
do to get them back into pending? What can I do to get more out of it? You
Yeah.
know, again, it's not easy, but it's something that we need to do.
Right.
And
It's that
honestly,
notion of the glass half full versus half empty,
that's what it
and all
is.
the opportunity. And it's true. It's absolutely true. And your outlook. And I think when people say happiness is a choice, yes, and you should be grateful, even if you have little. I remember, I'm always, years ago, I'm in Jamaica, in the mountains, in the rainforest, and there is this bingy man. That's what they call themselves because they're into the Rastafarian religion. And the guy has no roof on his hut, on his little house. He's got no teeth, and he has what he calls a farm, but they're like, like he's plenty. Those trees grow naturally, and he's got little things, and he's selling stuff off of the road. But he is so grateful for the bountiful of what nature is giving him. He has his belly full every day, and all he wants to do is philosophize in the afternoon and meet new people and just talk, and that's all. And to him, he's super happy, super
Yeah.
happy. He has a couple of holes in his t-shirt, but it doesn't matter, you know.
It still
And I'm
covers the
like,
important
wow,
parts.
huh?
It still covers the important parts, I'm sure.
Exactly. And and it's like you look at this and you're like, we're all wrong. We're so materialistic. We're so stuck on some stupid things. And this guy just embraces the essence of life, you know,
Yeah,
and he's just happy with what he has and so thankful. And it was
yeah,
very, very humbling. Very, very humbling.
I'm sure.
And he gave me a little bracelet made out of a palm leaf, and I was like, oh my god. And I kept that thing until it just crumbled.
Till it dried up and cracked.
Yeah. But it was like it really touched me, and it's like you have to sometimes say, you know what, he has it right. The
Mhm.
little that he had, he felt so blessed. So
Yeah,
blessed.
that's
And
what
I
it
think we
is.
should
Be
look at
grateful
life
with
like
what you
that.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
I have to shout out Olga, who's always saying, like, life is so wonderful,
She says
and
life is
she's
good.
life is so
Life is
good.
good.
And
So good.
She,
she's
Yes.
always so grateful every day,
Yes.
no
yeah,
matter what.
Yes.
And
yeah,
that energy, that positive energy, just it's like you can feed off of that, like all those people that are so enthusiastic. She is one of them.
yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah.
I,
Of
I
course.
remember coming to the office and I'm like, hey, Olga, what's going on? And she's like, oh, good, good. Life is so good. I'm like, yeah, life is great. At that time, it didn't feel too great. I'll be honest.
No, but that's the fact that she said it, and it's good.
But
It's good to
yeah,
have those influences.
of
Yes.
course, it
Yeah.
helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another point that he actually touches on is allow yourself the luxury of doing more deals in 1 month. And he spoke about, like, he started asking people, he was doing a seminar, he started asking people, hey, can you remember when you did more than one transaction in a month? And he said,
Hmm.
write that down, right? And it hit me because I remember like 2 years ago, I think it was like almost 2 years ago, I literally had like 4 deals in 1 month. Like I had that there was a deal that Gigi and we were representing the sellers over there in Burn Street, right? Remember Matt and Kit?
Oh yes, yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah,
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Listen, we had that listing. We were helping them sell. We finally got somebody to come in and buy. Helped them find the buyer. We helped them find the
You helped them
buyer.
find the
I helped them find the
the
property to go
house. Yeah,
purchase out there. Like I started getting some like sphere of influence deals. My on red like it was working, and I'm
it was
like, damn, I
pouring.
remember
Yeah,
four
yeah.
deals. It was like 4 deals in 1 month. That was a crazy month for me, right? And he says, why not turn that into the minimum
Yeah,
standard for yourself,
yeah,
right?
Right.
So it's you putting a work in place
yeah,
and reminding yourself how good it made you feel and try to set that up as a minimum
yeah, yeah.
standard.
So whether you're still remaining at the same place or shifting, and I think shifting sometimes just like redresses and you just recalibrate things in your life. But if you're gonna stay at the same place, just think of it, you're going into a new phase, which is next year, which is like a brand new opportunity. So it's the same thing.
Right.
Whether you're physically moving or not, it still should be like a new phase, a new opportunity. And you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're right.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, but then he says after that, different point is exercise blind faith. And how hard is that
Mm.
Oh,
to
that's
exercise
extremely
blind
hard.
faith, right?
Yeah.
Again, and the only thing I can share is my experiences, and I'm sure you guys have yours, right?
Of course.
But to try to exercise blind faith when everything feels like it's falling apart around you, it's not easy. It's hard. It's something that you literally have to sit there and think to yourself, oh my God, like, how can I still be happy and move forward even though I know what's happening in the background, right? But
Yes.
it's exercising that blind faith. And what doesn't help, what's the
Mhm.
number one enemy of blind faith? Complacency, right? Because you get complacent, you get comfortable in where you're at. right? We all
Yeah.
understand that in real estate, it's a moving mechanism.
Yeah.
We constantly have to feed our pipeline, right? But sometimes we get complacent because why? Hey, I closed 4 deals in the month of December. I'm taking the month off. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go and enjoy myself. I got these checks. I'm good. Christmas is coming early this year. I'm gonna go and splurge, right? But then what happens? You
Right.
start to
And
slow it down.
I think if you're ready to take which is a lot in our business, but if you're ready to take off, maybe you need to put some again mechanism in place. Like
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you may have. I mean, doing it alone, I think would be very very hard. So if you have some associates you can work with that can have your
Yeah.
back, that's a great thing. That would allow you to be able to take that much time off. It doesn't happen anywhere, but I wish that on everyone. you
Yeah.
know
Right.
yeah.
I'm trying to work on taking a full month off next year, but at the same time, I'm going out there to try to lock in a listing. I want to go to Florida for two purposes: to visit my family, of course. But the other one is that I literally have my mother, who's basically my number one cheerleader. I helped them sell their property here. That she's talking to the neighbors, and one of the neighbors said, "Listen, I really don't know what to do, but I want to sell early next year." And my mom
Mm.
is like, "Talk to my son." Right?
So
I'm
you
not
need to
even
get your
licensed.
Florida
I
license.
exactly. I'm not even licensed, but you know what it
Yeah.
is? It's speaking these things into existence. That's what it
Yes.
comes
Yeah.
down to.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we've spoken about, hey man, going down to Florida. I've been looking at the Florida market in that vicinity since
Yeah.
my parents moved out there. So I see
Yeah.
properties hitting the market, properties going under contract, seeing the price points, and I'm literally studying the entire market. So
No,
it's
right.
something that, and then the value that I know I could present out there is, and nothing against Florida agents, but in the vicinity that I was in and the agents that I dealt with, nobody had a backbone. All right. They made fun of how New York agents, they didn't have to draft up contracts. These agents out there in Florida, they draft up contracts. Guess what they act like? Attorneys. There's nothing about building a relationship. There's nothing about presenting value. There's nothing about trying to negotiate and make the deal. And
Mm.
that's the way I felt when I went out there. I saw almost 40 houses before my parents bought theirs. So imagine how many agents I dealt with out there,
Yeah.
right? And I literally got the scope of these individuals, and I can tell you that none of them, not they were not even close to some of the agents that are here, because
Oh,
it's a different monster. It's a
Yeah, that's
different
different
mechanism.
mindset. Hmm.
You know what I mean?
right.
They're more like upscale. They're attorneys, but they're realtors. Over here, we're all about trying to make the deal happen.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
so like, for me to take that initial trip out there, I'm going with the intent of, I got to get my real estate license in Florida. I'm going out there for business, so at least I know that I'm doing some type of work out there
Yeah.
while
Right.
things are happening here. But it's just that concept. I don't know how, but I don't care, because the why is strong enough. You get what I'm
Good.
saying? Like, there's a
And you'll
reason
get it.
behind that.
You'll get
Yeah, I'm
it.
gonna
Yeah.
lock that thing in. I'm gonna lock
That's
it in, and
good.
I
I've
know it.
seen. I know a few people who go. I don't have a desire to get a Florida license because I don't even see myself maybe visiting Florida only once a year. But even for you, Israel, I think you're considering like doing investments and stuff like
Oh,
that.
no,
Could
yeah,
be.
that's definitely in the pipeline.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
that's
You
definitely in
know,
the pipeline.
and that's
that's
exercising
great.
that blind faith,
Yeah.
right? Because it's
Yeah.
there. You put it there, right? You put it in your own mind, and you're gonna work on achieving that, and that's the key. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're right.
Um,
Blind faith. Yeah. You need a lot of that. You're
so
absolutely right. Yeah.
another point that he touched on, and this is probably number two of what real estate agents hate, right? Number one is prospecting. Can
Yeah.
you guys guess what number two is?
Follow up.
Close.
What
Israel, you
is
want to
it?
throw one out there?
I was gonna say follow up also.
Yeah.
Okay. Get yourself an accountability partner, not just one, but a
Oh
few,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't know how to
right?
do that.
Right? It's hard.
It's very hard, even
Yeah,
to
people don't know how
start
to do that.
groups and have them stick.
You know why? Because
I
nobody wants you to
To be
know what's going on in their business or in their
Why
life.
not? I
Well, that's
mean,
that's one way of doing it. Yeah, and I almost feel like people are afraid to ask for help. I
yeah.
think
Right?
that's what
And
it is.
sometimes to
Honestly,
me, I think it's good to have somebody kicking your butt a little bit Not in the mean
Well,
way, but somebody like we help each other's kicking our butts and make sure we stay on track for the
when
sake of staying on track
I
and doing
agree,
what we have to do. It's such a tough business, you know?
it is. Honestly, I don't know, Ed, if you remember, but when Ed and I were, when we had the upstairs at that time, I actually was talking to him one on one, and it came to that point that we actually had a good full blown, maybe half hour to 40-minute conversation. He had to go. Man had his bag on him. He had his jacket ready to go.
This
He
guy
had to
Israel was
go.
holding me hostage on the second floor.
He had to go. Right.
I was standing there sweating.
And I was like, no, let's talk for a bit. And, we spoke again about 40 minutes.
Yeah,
And at the end of that, we actually established an accountability for each other. We
that's
thought
great.
that was strong enough for us to do so. Because that's the
That's
thing
great.
you want. You want somebody not only on. I think what most people are feeling is that it just becomes a one-sided accountability. You want the two-sided as well, but you
Yeah.
can't have the one-sided. I always say
Right.
I'm always going to call you because I need you to always make sure that I have 200 contacts, 300 contacts. I don't, like if you want me to do the
Mhm.
same for you, that's great. If not, then I just need you to always hold me accountable that I did that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally think that most people are not doing accountability because they don't know
Oh,
how to
it's
act for help.
scary. It's scary to
And yeah,
admit the things that you don't do. It's very and sometimes you just get sidetracked and you lose focus, and then admitting that you just failed yourself. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard.
It's
It's
yeah,
It's hard. But if you
yeah,
look
it's
back
very
on
hard.
it, right? Guess who your accountability partner is at your job?
You
broker.
broker?
Your broker, your boss, whatever it might have been. If you had a
Yeah,
job
Mhm.
prior to, it was your boss, right? The
yeah,
manager, they were your accountability partners. You didn't like it, but they were forced upon you because if you didn't produce, they would get somebody to replace you. But the thing is,
Absolutely.
now in your own field, your own industry, you're in business for yourself. It's more like, oh, you know what? I'm going to look in the mirror and say, boss, do I really have to go to work today? And you're going to respond, no, not really, right? But what we don't realize is that we're actually hurting ourselves in the long run because this is a business where we have to put in work, not
Right.
just a week to get paid next week. No, we got to put in this work. We're planting seeds and we're
mm-hmm,
going to get paid in a couple of months. If you
mm-hmm,
do a co
mm-hmm.
op, 3 to 4 months. If you do a house or a multifamily or a condo, maybe a month or two. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But this is the effort that we have to put in.
yeah,
And it takes a while to get it
yeah.
done.
I know. I mean, I gotta talk. I just saw an inspiration this morning. I came in the office. This is actually my first day in the morning in the office because before that it was like trying to just get set up and having all the meetings and stuff like that. So today is really my time by myself. I'm here at 9, and some agents are already in the office from 8 o'clock, 8:30. They've been in business for more than 30 years and they're doing their prospecting. And I'm like, wow, this is like super inspiring. Like
Yeah.
this make me want to just get back in the saddle. And this is what you want to do. It's like, my
Absolutely.
God, they're right there, like 8 o'clock. They would stay, like in the nice days where it's darker outside, they would probably stay until 9 as well to just get extra business. And
Yeah.
30 years in the business, like like producers that are making about $700,000 GCI,
Yeah,
750, and they're like
it's
churning
amazing.
away, humble, unbelievable. I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
They know what
amazing.
they got their hands on.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Right.
yeah,
But
yeah,
the last point that he made was every morning for 15 minutes work on the basics of selling. And quite frankly, I don't care what anybody says, but we're all salespeople,
yes, we
right?
are. Oh yeah,
If you
first and
think
foremost.
about if you think about when you go on a job interview and present your resume to the employer, you're trying to sell yourself.
Right.
All right. When you meet that girl at the bar or that guy at the bar, right? What are you trying to do? You're trying to sell
Sell
yourself.
yourself.
All
That's
right.
right.
You go to schools, colleges, same concept, right? Your grades are you're selling yourself to these teachers. You're selling yourself to
Yeah.
these colleges, these schools, right? So no matter what you say, I don't care. You're having to sell yourself on a
Yeah,
day-to-day
I know.
basis.
It makes me laugh when I hear people, especially talking about scripts. I don't want to sound too salesy. Well, then you're in the wrong business because we're selling. We are salespeople, and there is nothing wrong like sounding like a salesperson if you know
Yeah.
what you're doing. There is no negative connotation. We are salespeople, and we should embrace it.
Wow.
There is nothing wrong with
Yeah. I had a new agent tell me that one time. It was like, I don't want to sound salesy. And I was like,
that.
we'll keep practicing to not sound like one then.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Just keep
Right.
practicing. Keep practicing.
Right.
Keep get on the phones so that you can sound natural. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not, you
let
already
it
know what you
become
get
you.
yourself
Yeah,
into.
yeah,
You did your 75 hours. You got yourself your license, and you have an entire year to pay for that license again, and the rest of that goes, goes with it with the fees. Just put those 100 hours in, put those
Yeah.
$2,000 hours in, so that
yeah.
you don't sound salesy anymore. I mean, perfect example for me. It's like I could almost see I had to go help out, and this is just a quick side note. I had to go help out my father-in-law buy a car. Man, car sales guys, I mean, they have a quick talk. They have a quick talk,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And I was like, slow down, homie. I know, slow down. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying, and so on and so forth. But then after a while, they noticed I told them that I'm a real estate agent, and they actually started slowing down, and they started not being so salesy in that sense.
Right. And I'm trying to
So
push so
over,
hard. Yeah.
right. But overall, we went to 4 dealerships, and in each dealership, even though I was telling them I'm a real estate agent, here I am trying to collect leads out of that. I wasn't trying to be salesy either. I was asking
Mm-hmm.
really quick: do you rent or you own? When do you plan on owning? How soon do you plan on selling? So on and so forth. And I'm asking questions that, hey, listen, it's part of the Mike Ferry scripts. I'm asking questions like that, and here I am picking up. And I picked up at least 4 to 5 leads from that. Because I
Sure.
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
salesperson, because I was natural about my conversations, because I was natural about
Right. And they were
answering questions.
salesy for that car,
And
but yeah, yeah. And you had the
right,
conversation.
and I
Yeah.
wasn't selling them anything. I was just letting them know, look, I'm a good person to give you good sources and information and services,
Yeah.
but I'm the one that you need to talk to about all that. So
Mm-mm.
No, definitely. So look, practice it for 15 minutes, right? And what, like, 4 of the key points for a salesperson, I'll tell you right now, is number 1 is prospecting. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So how do we prepare ourselves? Practice your scripts. All right.
Every day.
Regardless, practice your scripts. This is
Every
15
day.
minutes that we're talking about. You don't got to get all crazy. But the other is lead follow-up, right?
importante.
Lead follow-up. All right. What is it going to take for you to send another text message? What is it going to take to give them another call? Right? What is it going to take? Sometimes we have to hit on these people 18, 19, 24, 30
But this
times.
is where most agents are like, oh my God, it's too pushy. No, because life gets in the way. And sometimes, I've seen people even like, if you feel you're too pushy yourself, keep going. Because I've heard a few times, I'm so glad you called me back. I just
Yes.
wanted to call you, and then things happen. My daughter, my this, pop, pop, pop. I'm like, I'm so glad you're calling back. Thank you. Let's do this now. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is yeah.
Listen, I was having a conversation yesterday with Vincent, with Will was there too. I forgot there was somebody else, but we were talking about it, right? And the money is always in the follow-up.
Definitely.
And it's crazy because you know what it is? You might think that, oh, I don't want to be too pushy, or I don't want to call them again, or this or that. No, you don't realize it. We're the reminder. We're that 15-minute, 30-minute reminder that goes off. The alarm clock that goes off, reminding them. What are we reminding them? They reached out to you. They gave their number. They gave their email address. They clearly had interest in either buying, selling, renting, investing, whatever the case is.
Right.
They gave that information. And for you to continue to touch on them, it's like the snooze button for them.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. I just remembered. So-and-so is, that's right.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk right now.
Do you guys remember the training by Coach Bert that we had in the summer?
Yeah,
it was for session.
Between.
I recommend that small little book. It's called $1 Million Follow-Up.
Yep.
So he's using his past sports coach approach, and it's actually very, very interesting, and still knowing that it takes 9 to 15 times to actually close the leads, and gives a lot of value points. We had 4 sessions. We were really like very detailed, but I don't think, like if you understand the concepts already, you don't really you don't really need it. But the book really has some very, very good pointers, especially if you consistent as doing follow up, and just help you keep track, like, and he's like giving you ideas on different closing techniques to me, which it was interesting because the guy is Southern, so it's like a whole different approach. Like I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't even think of doing it like that. But like, good little book to pick up. It's very inexpensive. I don't even think it's $15. It's like a $10 little booklet, and keep it with you, and just get reminded. The fortune is in the follow up.
Yeah. And then to close it out, so it's prospecting, it's lead following up. The other that he mentioned is be diligent on pre-qualifying your customers or client.
This is probably one of the thing where it's an recurring conversations with new agents and experienced agents. In the end, it all goes back to the lead not being qualified. People going on a goose chase on a listing appointment that was not qualified. People going on buyer's appointment on a lead that was never qualified. And it's like, but you're wasting a lot of time by doing things like that. You're having a lot of frustration, and then you wonder why things are not working. It's like that's a recurring conversation. Not qualifying the lead enough. And to me, I always take by the Mike Ferry, qualifying questions, because they are the genesis and they work. I do like the LP Mama techniques for those that are not into Mike Ferry, but there are so many techniques you can follow and ensure that everybody is qualified.
Yeah, no. So he touches on all that as well. And then like again, you said it right. We spend a lot of time in some of these leads that aren't qualified, and then we get frustrated, and then we're mad, and we're saying, "Oh, this is not working." No, unfortunately, we're just not working it correctly. All right, because there's a process to this. And where does that come into play? You need to read your scripts, because Mike Ferry also has a pre-qualifying script for buyers, a listing presentation. You know what I mean?
Right.
They have these qualifying scripts that you can use to make sure. So if you get your answers for these questions, you're going to know where you stand. You know what I mean? And I know we're hungry. Everybody is. But you're not going to be able to get something out of someone who's not ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. So if they're not ready, you're wasting your time. And then the last point that he said is make sure you have a great presentation. So those are the 4 keys that you would need to work on. All right.
Right.
Make sure you work on that every 15. He says 15 minutes. Clearly, some of this stuff is going to take a little longer. But at the end of the
beginning,
day,
it does. Yep.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
And again, great if you're making a shift. Great if you're staying where you are and just going into the new year. Like fantastic points, like working on your presentation. Like right now, I'm gonna have to revamp whatever presentation I had or lack thereof over the year. I just like, like you're so used to going on appointment. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to revamp a presentation, because those are like new. I'm still gonna sell to the same sellers, but with my function, I'm gonna also be selling to agents as well. So I'm like, oh, here goes, and now I need a new presentation, and it's exciting, and I think we should all see it like working on those 4 things like every day. And this is a great reminder to have that topic of whether we're gonna have new beginnings or not. And every day is a new beginning. Absolutely right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So those are all the points that he brought up.
I do love your outlook on those changes and stuff like that, where you guys could have taken very negatively that, I wasn't part of our close-knit little group within the office, and just bringing all those ideas, like very, very positive. So I do want to thank you guys for that. Just want to really, really, again, make sure that everybody knows it's sometimes beyond just a little microcosm in the office. Thank you. Yeah.
No, it's more to life than that. You know what I mean? But that's what we have to work on, right? Start every day from zero. All right. Work on these key points and we should be good.
Yeah. I think we have an most valuable, what we call that, viewer participant today, right? It's Olga. Look at Olga.
It is Olga. It is
She
Olga.
is a firecracker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Olga.
Shout out to Olga.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely.
Thank you, Olga, for always being there, for always being so inspiring and so upbeat about everything. You know, I think we all love you so much. All
Yeah.
right. In the
Absolutely.
meantime,
She kept us positive. She kept us
Oh, yeah.
positive in the office.
Yeah, she's still there. In the meantime, guys, until next week, I think we'll bring a new topic. All right, and that's it. Keep on churning. Keep on doing the right thing.
it.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right. Make sure you
Jimena.
make it happen. Make sure you make it
Jimena,
happen
who's
out there.
that? Jimena. Oh, hi, Jimena. Thank you for jumping in.
Jimena.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Where is that grown-up music of ours?
I'll put the volume a little higher.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your attention, your loves, your comments, your shout outs. But if you feel that someone can benefit from these Friday morning lives, feel free to invite them. All right. We're giving you the ability to bring them on because at the end of the day, like we said at the beginning, we're here. We're agents helping agents. We want to discuss what's happening now, relevant topics. All right. And we'd love to go back and forth with everybody who's tuning in because my experience is going to be different from Israel and Gigi's experience.
That's right.
All right. So let's talk about it.
Thank you,
Join
guys.
us at Facebook, at our Facebook group as well.
Yeah, let's
Yes.
grow that Facebook
What is it?
group.
Unwrapped.
Yes.
Absolutely. You know.
All right, guys.
Join us.
Yes.
Awesome.
Bye,
Have a
everyone.
good weekend.
Take
See
care,
ya.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.